Good morning. Today we are going to see one of our system in human physiology, the nervous system, which is very important, without which we cannot do any work. Okay. Each system is made up of organs. Each organ is made up of tissue. Each tissue is made up of cell. So cell is a structural function unit of all living organisms. Here, the cell that is present in the nervous system is neuron. Neuron is the structural and functional unit of nervous system. This neuron, we are going to see the structure types. Okay, structure of the neuron. It has a cell body called cyton. It is also called as perikaryon. Cyton is also called as perikaryon. The cyton gives rise to branch structure, number of branch structure, and one unbranched structure process. The branch structure, the process are called as dendrons. Each dendron gives rise to number of branches called dendrites. Okay, dendrites. Then the cell body also contains cytoplasm, which contains a nucleus, and the cytoplasm has nils granules. The unbranched structure is called axon. Axon is covered by a myelin sheath. All the axons are not covered by myelin sheath. The neuron which are covered by the myelin sheath, myelinated neuron. If they are not having myelin sheath, amyelinated neuron. Okay. Here what I have drawn, it is myelinated neuron. And this myelin sheath is again covered by another membrane called neurolema. Neurolema. This neurolema is present in all the nerves. Myelin sheath only is present in some neurons. Myelin sheath will be present. Some neurons myelin sheath will not be there. But neurolema is there in all the neurons. Then this neurolema and the axon shows constrictions here and there. These constrictions are called as node of Ranvier. Ranvier is a person, one who found this constrictions. Okay. So with this name it is called node of Ranvier. At the end of the axon, it is again divided into branches. So that is called axon ending. This axon ending are connected with dendrites of the adjacent neuron. Okay, dendrites of the adjacent neuron. And there, if it is covered, it is connected, the axon it is connected with the dendrites of another adjacent neuron. So at the connected point of this dendrite and the axon ending, there is a gap. This is axon. These are the dendrites of the adjacent neuron. It is called synapse, and it is filled with a chemical here I write acetylcholine. These acetylcholine plays an important role in transmission of impulses. Okay, that we are going to see afterwards. Just since we are discussing the axon ending, I am mentioning here, it is connected with axon endings are connected with the dendrites of the adjacent neuron. Okay, the connecting point is called synapse, and there it has that is filled with acetylcholine. Okay, the next one is types of neuron. On the base of the structure and on the base of function, neurons are classified. On the base of the structure, unipolar, bipolar, multipolar. What I have drawn here is a multipolar neuron. Unipolar neuron, it is connected with the adjacent neuron with only one neuron. Bipolar neuron, both the side it is connected with. Here it is connected with another neuron, here it is connected with two neurons. The neuron which are connected with two neurons are bipolar. The neuron which is connected with only one neuron, adjacent neuron, is called unipolar. And this one, see, number of dendrites are there. Each dendrite is connected with the axon of the adjacent neuron. Okay, so this is multipolar neuron. On the basis of the function, it is classified as sensory neuron, motor neuron, and associated neuron. Sensory neurons, they take the impulses. If you pinch, we will have that pain, that pressure, that pain is taken by the sensory nerves which contain sensory neurons. Okay, then motor neurons takes the message from the central nervous system to the particular part. So that is called motor neuron. Associated neuron, it is act as sensory and motor. It is connecting sensory neuron and motor neurons. Okay, associated neurons. So on the base of the function, if it carries the impulses to the central nervous system, sensory neuron. If it carries the messages from the main organ central nervous system to the other parts, motor. And if it associate both the carrying and sending messages, then it is associated neurons. Okay, so we have seen what are neurons, structure of neuron, types of neuron on the base of the structure and function. Now what are nerves? The axons of the neurons bundled together by a tubular sheath called nerves. Nerves are bundles of axons of the neurons. Okay, and sometimes this bundle may contain only motor neuron axons, and sometimes it may contain only sensory neurons. That nerve contains sensory neurons axons. Okay, sometimes both sensory neurons and motor neurons, it will contain both. Okay, so on the basis of this type, on the base of this, the structure of axons from where they are having, see, number of axons bundled together by a tubular sheath forms the nerves. Okay, and these axons may be from sensory neuron or from motor neuron or associated neuron. So this bundle, if they have only the sensory neuron axons from the sensory neurons, they are sensory nerves. Okay, then they carry the impulses from the different parts to the central nervous system. Okay, to brain and spinal cord. Then if it contains only the axons of the motor neurons, motor nerves, so they takes the message from brain and spinal cord and send it to the different parts. They are motor neurons. And some neurons, if they have the both sensory neurons and the motor neurons, they are called as mixed neurons, mixed nerves. Okay, so on the basis of the function, what are the basis of the neuron, axons of the neuron, what they are having, they are classified as, nerves are classified as sensory nerves, motor nerves, mixed nerves. Okay, so we have seen what are neurons, structure of neuron, types of neuron, and what are nerves, structure of nerve and types. Okay, next we are going to see how they are transferring the impulses from the central nervous system to the peripheral nervous system. transmission of nerve impulses. How the impulses are transferred from one neuron to another neuron, from one nerve to another nerve. If you take the nerve fiber, I already told you the axons of the neurons bundled by a sheath form the nerves. Okay, so the nerves are made up of axons of the neuron. So this each nerve is at the resting state, it is polarized. It takes place, transmission of nerve impulses takes place 3 stages: polarization, depolarization, repolarization. Polarization is a state of rest. It is polarized. The ions, sodium ions are present, more sodium ions are present outside the nerve membrane. Okay. And this, because of the impulse, this gets disturbed and the sodium ions enter inside the nerve fiber. And this entry of the sodium ion make it as depolarized. See here, less sodium outside, less sodium ions, inside more sodium ions. This area is depolarized, whereas this one is polarized condition. Next, the impulse again push this sodium, the impulse is pushed from this place to this place, so that this area become depolarized. Okay, so the previous area, what is already depolarized, will become now retain its original condition, that is called repolarized. First it is in polarized state, then due to the impulses it got excited, so the sodium ions are pushed inside the nerve fiber, so the particular area become depolarized. And this, due to the further impulses, this sodium ions are pushed this side to the next adjacent part of the nerve. So this area will become depolarized. Again, the area which depolarized will retain its original condition, that is called repolarized. Okay, so like this, part by part, the impulses are moved along the nerve fibers. Now, I already told you the axons are connected with how the impulses are transformed from, in the neuron we have seen how the impulses are transformed from one neuron to the another neuron. This is nerves, okay, how the impulses are transferred in the nerves. Now, how it is transferred from one neuron to the other neuron, the axon endings are connected with the dendrons of the associated, dendrons of the adjacent neuron. And at the point of contact, there is a space called synapse. And this synapse is filled with acetylcholine. Now, what happens? This polarization, depolarization and repolarization makes the impulse to pass from one neuron to the other neuron. Now, the impulse is here and it reaches this synapse, okay, the gap. There, that time the acetylcholine is secreted. And this acetylcholine conducts the impulses to the next dendrons of the adjacent neuron. Okay, and that is, this is associated neuron. It connects the sensory neuron and motor neuron. So the impulse pass to the associated neuron. Associated neuron pass the impulse to the motor neuron. Same way, wherever the axons are connected with the dendrites of the adjacent cell, there is a gap, synapse. It is filled with acetylcholine. Once the impulses are transformed here, again this acetylcholine is undergoes chemical reaction and be ready for the next impulse. Okay, so fast, so quickly it takes place. Okay, so this is how the nerve impulses are transformed from one neuron to the other neuron, from sensory neuron to associated neuron, then to the motor neuron. And from in the nerves, it takes place mainly due to sodium ions. Okay, so next we are going to see the types of nervous system. Next, divisions of nervous system. The nervous system has two main divisions: central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system is made up of two major organs. One is brain, the other one is spinal cord. We are going to see elaborately the structure and function of these later, okay? Then the peripheral nervous system is further divided into two, somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system. If you take somatic nervous system, it consists of cranial nerves, spinal nerves. Cranial nerves are the nerves which arise from the brain, and they may be sensory, motor or associated. And there are 12 pairs of cranial nerves. If you take the spinal nerves, the nerves which arise and enter the spinal cord are called as spinal nerves. And spinal nerves are always made up of mixed nerves. It contains sensory nerves, motor nerves, associated nerves. Okay? Sensory nerves, motor nerves and mixed nerves. So it always has both sensory and motor nerves. Then spinal nerves are 31 pairs are there. 8 pairs of spinal nerves are arising from the neck region, 12 pairs thoracic, and 5 pairs lumbar, 5 pairs sacral, 1 pair coccygeal. All these you came across in the skeletal system last year. When you study about the skeletal system, all these regions, you studied the bones, correct? Okay. So 31 pairs of spinal nerves are there. Next category of the peripheral nervous system is autonomous nervous system, autonomic nervous system. It is made up of two types of nerves, sympathetic nerves and parasympathetic. Sympathetic, it prepares the body for the emergency condition, emergency time, it prepares the body. It is induced by the adrenaline secreted by adrenal gland. Next, in the endocrine system, we are going to see all the endocrine glands which secretes, and the adrenal gland is one of the endocrine glands. It secretes adrenaline, emergency hormone it is called. And due to this emergency hormone, the sympathetic nerves are preparing the body for facing the emergency situations. And parasympathetic nerves, it is helping the body to come back to the original condition. Okay, it is excited, and this one is making the body to become the normal condition. Okay, for example, if you see any accident, you will not see it quietly like this. You will look at that part like this. Your eyes are the pupil are dilated, and you breathe fast, and the hair will become straight, goose flesh. Okay. After that, after they remove the body from that place, and your body will become normal condition. The hair will not be straight again, it will become normal condition, and the people constricted. All these normal condition now we are getting because of this parasympathetic. Okay, so dilation of the people, sympathetic. Okay, constriction of the people, parasympathetic. So it prepares the body, sympathetic. In autonomous nervous system, sympathetic nerves prepares the body to face the emergency condition. Parasympathetic nerves help us to come back to the normal condition. Okay, so this is how the nervous system is classified. Now next we are going to see the parts of the central nervous system, brain and spinal cord. Next, we are going to discuss about the parts of the central nervous system, brain and spinal cord. Brain. Human brain is kept in the cranium. It weighs 1.35 kgs. It consumes 25% of the oxygen that we take in. 25% required by the brain, used by brain. Okay. It is made up of neurons, and it is covered by a membrane called meninges. And this meninges, a membrane, is made up of 3 layers: pyramidal, duramated and arachnoid membrane. Pyramidal, duramated and arachnoid membrane. And in between these 3 membranes, space is there. That space is filled with cerebrospinal fluid. So this cerebrospinal fluid protects the brain from shock. Like heart we studied, no? Like that, pericardial fluid. Here, cerebrospinal fluid nourishes the brain and protects the brain from shock. First it is covered by the cranium, it is kept in the cranium, then it is covered by the meninges. Any infection in the meninges leads to brain fever. Okay? And in lower classes we have studied about the structure of the brain, cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla oblongata. Okay? We are going to see in different way the structure. It is made up of three parts: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Forebrain is made up of cerebrum, olfactory lobes, diencephalon. Cerebrum, it is the largest part of the brain. It has foldings, convolutions. If you take the convolutions, the raised part of the convolution is called gyre and the shallow part of the convolution is called sulci. Okay? So, the intelligence of a person depends upon the number of convolutions. When you are young, more number of convolutions will be there in the brain. As you grow older, the convolutions will get decreased. That is why old people again and again repeatedly they will be telling the same thing, because the convolutions will be very less. The convolution disappear in the old people brain. Okay, so because of that only they are using that memory part. Okay, so this cerebrum has two layers, outer cortex and inner medulla. Okay, outer cortex and inner medulla. Outer portion is lighter cortex and inner portion is darker medulla. And why it is the outer cortex and inner medulla is divided with the help of the neurons, axons and cytons. We have no. So axons are present in the cortex and this cytons are present in the cortex and the axons are present in the medulla. Like that, two regions are there. And it has brain has two hemispheres. Both the hemispheres are connected with a nervous tissue called corpus callosum. Corpus callosum. And this corpus callosum sends the impulses from the right hemisphere to the left hemisphere, from the left hemisphere to the right hemisphere of the cerebrum. Then comes the olfactory lobes. Olfactory lobes are responsible for the sense of smell. Then diencephalon. Diencephalon is, this part is called diencephalon. It has a roof on the floor. It is made up of thalamus and hypothalamus. At the floor of the hypothalamus, there is a stalk body. The stalk is called infundibulum. That on the stalk, a gland, an important gland, master gland, pituitary gland is placed. Okay. So all these things about the forebrain. The next one is midbrain. Midbrain is made up of four lobes. They are together. They are called as corpora quadrigemina. And these four lobes are responsible for the movement of the eye and movement of the head. If anything happens to this, you cannot move your head or move your eye like this. Okay. Then hindbrain. If you take the hindbrain, it is also called as brain stem. It is made up of cerebellum, medulla oblongata, pons cerebelli. Cerebellum. Compare the cerebrum. Cerebellum is smaller. And it is responsible. This one, cerebrum, is responsible for all sort of thinking, planning, memory. Okay, sense of smell, taste, touch. And cerebellum is playing a very important role in balancing the body balance. If a person take alcohol drink, it affects the cerebellum. That's why he loses his balance. He cannot walk steadily. Okay, and this cerebellum is connected with both the hemispheres of the cerebellum, connected with the nervous tissue called pons cerebelli. Pons, and this acts as a relay center. Then comes the medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata connects the brain with the spinal cord, and it is responsible for all the activities like breathing. Breathing center is present in medulla oblongata. Breathing, vomiting, all these are controlled by the medulla oblongata. Okay, and in the cerebrum we can see cavities, and these cavities are called ventricles. These are not the ventricles in the heart. These are different ventricles. That's why they are called as ventricles. And these are filled with cerebrospinal fluid, which nourishes the brain. Okay, so this is how the brain is constructed. The brain is formed. forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Okay. Next we are going to see the spinal cord. Structure of spinal cord. It is one of the main parts in the central nervous system. Two main parts, brain and the spinal cord. Brain we have finished. Now we are going to see spinal cord. It is kept inside the vertebral column, backbone. And if you see the vertebral column, the vertebrae are arranged one over the other. And through this, in the center, it has a cavity. Through that cavity only the spinal cord passes. It has two enlargement, thoracic enlargement and lumbar enlargement. Thoracic enlargement, all the nerves enter and exit from all the anterior part of the body. Nerves enter through thoracic enlargement. Lumbar, posterior part of the body enters through the lumbar enlargement. And it is covered by a membrane. The meninges covers the brain and proceeds to the spinal cord. It is protected by the meninges, and in between the space of the spinal cord and the meninges, the space is filled with cerebrospinal fluid. If you take the cross section of the spinal cord, you can see same like brain, it has two layers, outer cortex and inner medulla. But here the condition is the brain cortex. You can see the nerve cell in the cyton. Cyton only you can see in the cortex. It forms a grey matter. The medulla you can see axon, that is white matter. Whereas here inside you can see the grey matter, outside white matter. That's the difference. Okay. And in the center it has a canal called central canal, which is filled with the cerebrospinal fluid. It has a dorsal root. The dorsal root gives rise to sensory neuron, and ventral root gives rise to motor neuron, and in between it has associated neuron here. Okay, so this is the structure of the spinal cord, and all the nerves arise from the spinal cord are called as spinal nerves. Next comes the reflexes. If you take all the actions that we do, we can classify them into two categories: voluntary actions and involuntary actions. For example, voluntary action, if you want to eat anything, if you want to eat an apple, you can take and eat it. If you want to watch TV, you will switch on the TV and take the remote and select the channel. Like that. Voluntary, whatever you want, you can do. Involuntary actions, suppose you are eating the apple, chewing and swallowing it, up to that only under your control. After that, how it goes inside the digestive system by peristalsis, contraction and expansion of the food pipe. That is not under your control. Okay, that will come under involuntary. Voluntary, there is no need to get any previous experiences. But involuntary, on the basis of the experiences, we will do. Then this reflex. Voluntary, with the experience will do. Involuntary, there is no need to have any previous experiences. These are called involuntary actions, are called as reflex actions. These reflex actions are of two types: natural and conditional reflex. Natural reflex. If you bring a sharp, any sharp iron or a rod near your eyes, immediately you will close your eyelids. Your eyelids will automatically close. You will not expect your permission. Even if you don't want to close also, you cannot control it. Okay, that is naturally. It happens. Natural reflexes. The conditioned reflexes. Conditioned reflexes only when there is a condition. You will do that one. For example, this conditioned reflex, they perform an experiment. Pavlov, a scientist, he formed an experiment. He conducted an experiment and proved this conditioned reflex with a dog. First, the dog was given the food. The dog started, by seeing the food, the dog started salivation. Then they have shown the bell, no salivation because there is no need. Okay. Then they ring the bell. They made a sound with the bell, and then they brought the food. For about 1 week, ringing the bell, bringing the food, ringing the bell, bringing the food. And after a week, when they ring the bell itself, the dog started salivating. Okay, when the bell rings, the food will come. So that one, that thought makes it salivate. That will come under conditioned reflexes. And this reflex action, if you touch any hot thing, immediately you will take. Okay, how immediately you are showing the response. The skin, when you touch the hot plate, the skin is the receptor. The sensory neurons take the impulse from the receptor to the spinal cord. Then the associated neuron takes it. It may be to the spinal cord or to the brain. It depends what sort of reflex they are getting. And the associated neuron send it to the motor neuron. Motor neuron transfer the stimulus and effector muscles. So effector muscles, the order, it is taking the sensation, sensory neuron. It is giving the order, effector muscles, move the finger away from the hot plate. Okay, so this forms an arc. This is called reflex arc. Okay, so there are natural reflex, conditioned reflex, different types. We have what and all will come under natural reflex, what and all will come under conditioned reflex. Go through that one. With this, we are finishing the nervous system. Next, we are going to see sense organs.